You can change your entire life by just changing one habit. Subscribe to our podcast and make listening a habit.
Change your mindset, manifest your dream life, and live magically with Rise and Align.
Raising the frequency one episode at a time.
Everything is always working out for us.
Hello and welcome back to the Rise and Align podcast, where we talk about all things high vibrational. We are your hosts. My name is Haley.
And I'm Demi, and today we're talking about how to live energetically and how that can completely change your life for the better. So we have other episodes on living in alignment and law of attraction. If you're not familiar, definitely refer to those episodes. But what it really comes down to is the fact that everything is made up of energy, and our feelings are the conscious awareness of the frequency that we're vibrating at. So when you start to perceive the world in an energetic way instead of such a physical or even logical way, you can feel your way towards your goals, and you can feel what is right and what is wrong for you. And you can also, instead of like reacting to the physical reality, you can recognize that this feeling that I'm having, if something bad happens, like if it's fear, doubt, worry, whatever, isn't what I want to be energetically aligned with, and that it allows you to correct that pattern and to let go of whatever's going on in the physical reality, and instead to go inwards and align with what you actually do want to be happening.
Mm-hmm. And when we begin to talk about like perception, like how you're perceiving the world and our senses, we have the 5 senses that we all know that help us interact with the world around us, but we also have what people call the 6th sense, and to me that is interpreting energy around you. And so that is another sense that you can use to navigate this world. And I think that there's so much that is not physical, not seen with, our sight, maybe, and we can use our third eye to also connect with the non-physical. But there's so much science that like showcases that there is energy in the world and that we're made up of energy. If you think about like the chakras and kundalini energy and chi, like in Chinese practices, they call it like the chi, the life force energy. There are practices and science behind energy, and it's not just like humans are made up of energy. Everything around us is energy. So like the couch is energy. Your home is an energetic being. Everything around us is an energetic body that we can interact with on a physical level, but also on an energetic level.
Absolutely. I'm trying to remember the name of this law. It's like the law of reverse something, I believe it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really profound when you start to think about it, because we know energy can't be created or destroyed. And the law basically states that like water can turn to vapor and vapor can turn back to water. And so it's just kind of like the recognition that if God created you, if God created all that is, then all that is what makes up God. And so, I don't know, when you start to think in these terms and really understand energetics and the laws of the universe, then you can let go and detach from the physical, and that's truly how you are able to manifest. It's not so much focusing on like, I want this, as much as it is, I'm gonna let go, detach, and align with what feels good, like find what feels good. And that might sound witchy woo-woo, whatever, but quantum physics says otherwise. And I mean, you can really see it if you look at successful people. If you talk to them especially, they won't be easily deterred from their goals. They won't be like, oh, something bad happened, I'm a failure and I'm giving up. They will tell you, like, I failed many times and I kept on going. Like, they just ignore that. They don't take it to heart. They don't align with that vibration of failure. They keep on trying. They keep on going. They continue to hold the vision of the goal in their minds and work as if that's already theirs. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, like, that's what you'll get. So living energetically, if we want to apply it to just like everyday life, I want you to think about the things that trigger you, like the things that make you feel fear, doubt, worry, lack, scarcity, things that trigger you. There can be so many things. Money, huge, love, romance, friendships, family, relationships of any sort. Even things so small as like food and eating. A lot of us have these kind of lack mentalities programmed into our minds, and it's very subconscious. We're not usually typically aware of like, that's why I'm having these thoughts. They're just so habitual that you constantly act out of them. So if you can catch yourself in those moments of having those negative emotions and be like, wait, like why am I feeling this way, and like why am I acting this way, versus like, how do I actually want to feel, and how do I want to act in alignment with that? So like, if it comes to eating, I know I for sure was taught like, clean your plate and then you can have dessert, but that's like from the 20s when there was scarcity within food and stuff like that. And that's not a healthy way to look at food. Like, that's really unhealthy, actually. You should eat until you feel full, until you feel satiated, not just mindlessly finish your plate every time, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And especially when you're thinking about like, oh, am I going to eat even more calories, and calories that are going to be less nutritious and more like, sugar and carbs? It shouldn't be like, eat a ton so that you can eat more. No, like, eat a normal amount that's going to satiate you. And then if you want to have a little treat too, you can, mm-hmm. and just kind of like changing your mindset around that. But also, I had a therapist one time tell me like, dessert isn't a reward, and you have to stop looking at it that way. It's just an option, mm-hmm. because there's no scarcity, not even in dessert. Like, mm-hmm. there's no scarcity around that. So when you're starting to live energetically, you're recognizing like, I'm not wasting food. Technically, there's infinite abundance here for you, for us. So there is no scarcity. So you don't have to worry about like, if I don't finish my food, I'm hurting somebody else. Like, actually, realistically, you're not. And I know that some people are going to come at me for that, and I get it. But either you're going to eat it because you believe there's scarcity, or you're probably going to throw it away. Either way, that food wasn't going to make it to somebody else. So you're not actually helping or hurting anyone else. You just got to focus on you, and you got to believe that there is infinite abundance here for you. So when you get into that mindset, like, there's infinite abundance here for me, I don't have to eat every morsel on this plate. Like, I can just eat until I'm full. It's going to start changing your brain chemistry. It's going to change the way you operate. And it's the same, when you're at a store. If you really, really love something, and I know it can be so easy to get like, the instant gratification, like you just want dopamine from buying something. That's different than if you like, I absolutely am in love with this item and I can see myself using it all the time. Instead of being like, I can't afford this, either A, it's okay to splurge on things that you're madly in love with, or B, I will have it sometime soon. Like, it's on the way to me. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I believe that it's already mine. And that kind of mindset will allow you to end up getting those things that you so desire.
Mm-hmm. With everything that you're saying, to me, it's like all comes down to having mindfulness and intention in everything that you do. Mm-hmm. So you kind of take that pause and that like internal audit of like, okay, am I still hungry? If I am, then I'll eat more on my plate. Like, does dessert feel like the right thing for me right now? Then I'll have dessert. Like, does this item feel like the right item? Like, really like internalizing like what, or just taking that like moment to think about how you're perceiving things. And then maybe if you can interpret it differently, if that will benefit you. That is something that I have been practicing as well, I'm experiencing something that is newer to me, in that, you know, you don't have control over certain things that happen in life. And like, people in your life can go through major traumatic events and health things that you have no control over. And it's especially scary when it's not even your own body, because if it was my own body, I know what I would do to heal it. And I can say, like, I can do this and this and this, but you can't necessarily like force someone else to heal or tell them to do this. It's up to them. But when you are supporting someone through that, life can feel really hectic. Like, you're running around, and you just want to like pour into them. But I've had to learn, like, I have to be intentional about that, because that drains your energy. It can drain your energy when you're pouring it all into someone else, and you're not taking that intentional time to like, okay, before I go running here, like, maybe I need to take 10 minutes to like sit down and ground myself and bring myself back to center, like come back to my own energy, so that you're not like taking on other people's energy and, you know, just forgetting about yourself. Like, it can be so easy to, I think, get distracted and like just forget to think about yourself and be mindful. But I think when you do take a moment of intention or mindfulness, you can remind yourself, like, you know, everything is going to be okay. It seems scary, but everything's going to work out, and you can come at it from a place that is just more grounded and loving. And then you can bring that energy to other people as well, which I think is really important. I think, especially in more intense situations, like if nobody's taking a moment to ground themselves and be in their own energy, it's not good for anyone.
Yeah. So living energetically, everything comes down to how you feel. Again, like, that's the frequency. Our intuition is our guidance system. And when you're talking about like, you have to take a moment to ground yourself. If you want to be able to help anyone else, you have to, because this is an energetic world. So imagine that you don't, and your frequency is like fear and freaking out. You're bringing that frequency around the other people, like and actually everyone that you're encountering, like, that's what you're bringing around them. You know, we talk about having a morning routine, like how important it is to feel good first thing in the morning, because that has a snowball effect, not only on you and your day and your weeks and your months and your life, but on everybody that you encounter as well, because this is a world of energy. So I cannot like stress how important it is to think about how you feel at all times. Check in with yourself. Like, check in your body will tell you. Your body will tell you if something is wrong, if something doesn't feel right, or if something does feel right. Like, feel in your body right now. Just deep breath. Scan your body. Like, where might be tense? Where might you be holding stress? Or maybe you're like really loose and relaxed, and, you know, you're letting go of your stomach and your tongue's not on the roof of your mouth, and you just relax, you know, like, there's such a massive energetic difference between that. And I noticed specifically, like, in my sacral chakra, I will be like tensing, like holding on to stress in there when I'm like stressed out and worried. And sometimes I have to be like, whoa, take a breath, like, let go. This isn't helping the situation. And, you know, it's easy to fall into the physical reality and to be like, oh my God, but this is real. This is so real. It's happening right now. Like, it's real. Look at it. And it's so much more effective to lean back into spirituality and energy and recognize, like, the only thing that can help is to align. The only thing. And if you want to think about it from like a logical standpoint, human beings make better, wiser decisions when they're calm than when they're in a frantic state of being or a fearful state of being. Like, you will make a better decision if you just take a moment to align with you first. And so that's why you can say that this is both spiritual and logical, and it works both ways, always.
Absolutely. And I feel like so much of this physical reality begins in like, it's an energetic thing before it even makes its way
all
to
of
being
all
a
of
physical
it.
thing.
Yeah.
So like Abraham Hicks talks about the vortex. It's in the vortex. It's there. It's already there. And it's an energy. And, you know, when you're manifesting, you basically have to align with that to bring it into reality. So that is the same with like illness. You are aligning with the energy of illness before it even makes its way to your body. So if you can approach things from an energetic perspective, like how you want to feel, what you want to embody, like what you want your life to look like, how can you embody that within your energy? Because that is what's going to usher in your reality. It all begins energetically. So I think it is so important to become aligned, because if you are coming from that like chaotic cortisol, like high cortisol type energy all the time, like you're just ushering in more of that chaotic, maybe stressed, heavy, tight energy. Like that is what's going to reflect in the reality around you. So it's just so important to look at life from an energetic perspective as well. And you know, you can change the physical reality by connecting inwards and connecting energetically. So, you know, if you do take time to like meditate, if there's something in physical that is so stressful or feels so hard that you really like wish you could change, like go inwards. Like you said, you can do a scan of your body, like notice what you're feeling, notice the feelings that are coming up, and you know, work through that, breathe through that. But also you can then begin to visualize what it would be like, the way that you want it to be, whether it is, you know, that stressful situation is resolved, or, you know, this person being healthy. Like you can visualize that in your mind, and you will begin to embody that, like trust that that is your reality. Like you can create that from within, because that's just how energy works.
Yeah, exactly. So there were so many things that I like wanted to respond to in what you just said, but I'm going to start with the Silva mind control method. Talks about that exactly. So if you do take the Silva mind control method courses, they talk about holding the image of a person who is ill within your mind as healthy, and seeing them as in perfect health, and really aligning to that feeling and believing like that and sending that energy to them. And distance healing has been proven to work. And that might sound crazy, but like look into it. The CIA actually did a lot of research on that as well, like proving that that is a thing. Like the mind can heal. And apparently the mind can actually help heal other people as well. So, you know, if you do have health issues, or if you have anyone you love or you know that has health issues, instead of focusing on the lack of ease, the dis-ease within the body, focus on the ease, focus on how good it would feel to be healthy. And you can picture that, you know, and you can picture that for other people as well. Instead of like freaking out and worrying about them, you can picture them like, no, they're strong, they're healthy, they're making the right decisions, you know. And really, I truly believe that the body is only manifesting what's within the mind. So if you have dis-ease within the mind, if you are habitually in those negative feelings, they must express somehow. And so unfortunately, they do express through the body. It creates dis-ease within the body. And a lot of people are like, that's crazy. But just think about it for 1 second. If you feel nervous, maybe, you know, for an interview for a new job or something like this, right? Your hands get sweaty. You might feel shaky. You might feel kind of sick to your stomach. Like nervousness creates a physical reaction, as does hunger. And have you ever like not been hungry at all until somebody starts describing a food to you, or you see a video of food on the internet or something, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm starving, like that looks so good? It's because the mind is manifesting a physical reaction within the body. Your body is nothing but a tool of your subconscious mind. And it's the same with the lack of ease, it's only holding on to those negative emotions and then it's expressing. So if you can instead align with ease and let go of those emotions and process that, then your body is going to be at ease and not holding on to the dis-ease.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think that a technique that has been so helpful for me when say I am like really stressed about something or someone is sick or whatever, and you feel really attached to it, like you have a hard time saying the opposite, or you have a hard time like believing the best, or like you don't really know what that would be, like thinking about it from the perspective of source or of God.
Yeah.
Because it might be difficult for you to come up with that on your own, but if you're like, oh, like what would God say about this, it becomes much easier, I feel like, to like channel what that might look or feel like then, because you're like, oh, like God is unconditional love, and like you will be able to see things from that perspective, and things don't feel so like personal and victimized, and like it's not just about you, it becomes something greater. So it can be like, there's a reason for this, like, and God always like takes care of us, like we'll get through this, and like it's just so much easier to see it come to like shine a light on things when you think about it that way. That's been really helpful for me, I feel like.
Yeah, I love that. I used to always tell my clients that when they had a negative emotion, ask themselves what they are thinking about this, like what's causing that emotion, and then what would God think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, God is unconditional love. So you might be judging yourself and like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's stupid crap. It's not true, none of it. But God would laugh at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God created you
You're
in his
beautiful.
perfect image. You're perfect. You're exactly as you're meant to be in this very moment. Like, divinely so.
Like God created you exactly how you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
You're so unique and special.
Yes. So, like, the perspective, if you're ever holding any negative emotion, will be damn near complete opposite when you're looking at it from source perspective. It's never the opinion that you're holding in your little human mind. Mm-hmm. It's not that. It's never that. That's, if you're having negative emotion, whatever you're thinking is untrue. Mm-hmm. And that's wild, actually. Mm-hmm. But it's true. Yeah. Whatever you're thinking is untrue. If you're feeling unaligned, if you're feeling negative emotion of any sort.
Yeah. That's
cream of the crop. Going back to the vortex. What the vortex is a representation of is the fact that because energy cannot be created or destroyed, everything that exists has to exist in the here now, because there is nothing but the here now. And if energy can't be created or destroyed, all it is an ever transforming energy. And so I when I say I think about things energetically, literally, like I'll be like, this is a specific frequency that is making up this item in my mind. And if you look into the CIA documents researching these topics, mind-blowing. Sorry if you freak out after that. My bad. But they actually go into explaining why we feel physical sensation and why we believe that that's real, when actually everything that's going on in this whole physical reality is basically a hologram of our mind, in our mind's eye. Like, none of it's real. It's all just energy at different frequencies making up what we perceive to be the physical reality. Mm-hmm. When you start to think about things that way, you're like, oh my God, I literally am creating my own reality. Oh my God, I'm God. Like, in a way, definitely. And so instead of reacting to the external, you can then start creating from the inside out. Like Bob Proctor used to say, create from the inside out instead of the outside in. And then when you start to think of and picture in your mind's eye, well, this is what I really want to be. Oh, this is how it would feel. Like, it would feel so good. It would feel so satisfying. It would feel so peaceful, so loving, like whatever it might be. When you start to act out of those frequencies, your physical reality must, by universal law, mirror that.
Yes.
And that's how you get things out of the vortex.
Yes, you get to co-create with the universe.
Yeah.
When you understand and work with the energy of the universe.
So good.
So good. Another thing, I feel like, you know, everything is made up of energy. Everyone emits a frequency. It's kind of like crystals. Like crystals all vibrate at their own frequency and emit a frequency. I think, you know, humans do as well, depending on where they're at in their journey, how they're feeling and whatever. And I think places too, like places that have gone through, you know, if you think about somewhere like a battlefield or something, like that carries energy there, like things happen there. And I think that it is important to maybe be mindful of that. Like when you are integrating with other people or things in the world, like that you can take on their energy if you're not aware of it, you know? So I think it comes down to being, again, mindful and having awareness and intention in how you show up. But like if you're around really negative people who have low energy or bad energy, like that can tend to kind of influence your vibration as well. It's the same thing with like crystals. If they are around certain energies for a period of time, they'll actually like break. They'll literally can break.
Wow.
That is also a sign that like the crystal served its purpose as well. But also like you're supposed to cleanse your crystals because it can take on energy. It can be charged with certain frequencies and energy. So humans, we can be like that as well. Like if you are around too much negativity, like make sure you are cleansing your energy, like taking care of your energy, doing that body scan and checking in with yourself, and maybe asking yourself, like, is this really mine, or am I holding this from someone else? Like someone that you know might be going through like some crazy dramatic situation, and it can be easy to get like hyped up over that, and you go home and you're still like thinking about it, and like, you know, maybe you have like high blood pressure over it or something, and then you can be like, wait, is this like really mine to hold on to? Because it's not. Like, you know, what like leave that with them. And that can be the same thing with things that happen to you personally. Like you don't always have control necessarily over what's happening to you, like every little detail. You can co-create with the universe if you can align with the energy that you want, but you don't need to hold on to that. Anything in the external, you don't need to let that impact your energy. You have full control over that if you just like tune in and align your energy from within. So like energy is the language of the universe. Like we speak English, like we speak that to each other. That's how we communicate. But like that is not how everything else in the universe communicates with one another. Like that is what energy does. But it's like a similar thing. It's kind of the language that's like spoken between all things, not even things, just every thing. But I don't know what another word would be for thing.
Yeah, like, everything. But like objects and plants and everything. So another like scientific backing to these not even really theories, but I think facts, honestly, is that so one color has frequency. And I was thinking about like auras when we were talking about every individual has their own energy. Even if you can't see auras, you can really feel different people's energy. Like you can especially feel if they're in some kind of a mood, like if they're happy or if they're angry, like you can definitely sense that. But you can sense that overall as a whole. There are just specific people who you align more with, like you're attracted to more, you vibe with easier, like you get along with great, versus other people who you just isn't it's not a vibrational match. But then there's also plants. I've been seeing all these videos where people stick this machine on plants and it kind of amplifies the sound that the plants are making, and so you can hear, and plants make like beautiful music. It's so cool. Everything does have a specific frequency, and since sound is vibration, we're able to measure that and hear that. And it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yes. And that makes me think of this concept that I'm sure we've said so many times on here, but it's like tuning yourself to the channel that you want to be on, like the radio channel that you want to be on, because you have to like dial it into the right channel to like listen to what you want. And that's basically what your energy is. You have to like dial your energy into the station that you want to tune into.
Yes. So thinking about that and like thinking about protecting your energy. One, when you were saying earlier, like make sure you're cleansing your own energy, so important. But meditation is such a good way to do that, because if your thoughts are going crazy, just calming the mind, letting all that go, even if it's just for a few minutes, can have such an impact on the way you feel and therefore what you are attracting into the reality. And it's funny because our minds, they'll go so crazy at times that we just like make a huge deal out of something that really isn't even that big. And so when we're able to calm it down, ground, let go for just a few minutes, we might come back to the problem later on and be like, oh, there's a simple solution. Not even a big deal. I was making mountains out of molehills, you know? Like, and that really does happen, but it's so important to go inwards and to quiet that and to allow yourself to let go of that, because there is nothing to fear but fear itself. And the reason for that being that when you are in the frequency of fear, you're then acting from that and then creating more to be fearful of within your reality. It's the same with worry. Worry never fixed a thing. Nothing. It never fixed anything. It just brought about more worry. And you're living in fight or flight all the time. It feels terrible and it's creating dis-ease. I hate it. It's horrible. You can't be doing that. So you got to come back down, ground yourself, let go of everything. The problem isn't gonna get better if you just sit there and focus on it. Like at least like you can let go just for now, just let go. You can come back to it later, it'll be there, you know.
Exactly.
But or maybe it won't if you let it go.
Yeah.
You know. But also thinking about like protecting your energy. So if you are an aligned person and you're doing these practices and you start your day off feeling really good, you're taking care of yourself, you know, and you really care about how you feel, you might go into a circumstance where people are at a lower vibration. Maybe they're angry, depressed, sad, maybe something is going on in their lives. Instead of lowering yourself to their vibration, raise them to yours. That is so key in protecting your energy. And, you know, sometimes we are just around people like that. Maybe we care about them. Maybe they're family, like whatever it might be. You can, instead of like crying with them and, you know, empathizing with them. And I'm not saying don't have empathy. I am saying change the subject. If they are going off about something that upset them terribly, maybe they're gossiping, whatever, change the subject. It can be something as simple as, wow, look at those flowers over there. They're so beautiful. Like, oh, it's such a nice day. Oh, the breeze smells so nice. Like something just simple enough to interrupt their thought pattern and bring them out of that vibration. And that can really, really help you protect your energy, as well as we've talked about this, I think before, visualizing like white light around your body. Just, I am protected. I am at peace. You know, I am divinely protected. I really am. And not allowing yourself to play into their vibration, which can be difficult at times. You know, if you care about somebody, you might feel sad or worried or stressed or angry or whatever about their circumstances. But just remember, that's not yours, and you're not helping them by aligning to that vibration. You can only help them from up here. You can only help them if your cup is full.
Absolutely, yes. Another thing that I think is important, if you have people that you care about that, you know, maybe are being negative, or, you know, you don't want to, like, you know, maybe they're family and you can't just be like, I'm done with you. But like just setting boundaries with them, just being like, you know, I love you, but I can't listen to this anymore. Like something like that. Like just setting boundaries with them, I think can be really helpful and important, so that, you know, if they want to be in that vibration, they can, but they can just do it on their own. away from you. Like it doesn't need to impact your relationship or anything like that. In terms of protecting yourself too, like that can even come down to like what you decide to put on when you get ready in the morning. Like if you want to feel protected, you can place like some sort of symbol of like a veil over your head. So you could wear a scarf or a hat that can protect your crown chakra. You can wear black to kind of protect yourself from negativity. You can carry crystals that help with that. You can quite literally just like smoke cleanse yourself or cleanse yourself in the shower. We've talked about a lot of these techniques before, but I also think that it is really important to do that in your home as well. Keep it clean, like declutter, cleanse spaces. And why I think this is important, and I just am thinking of an example for myself, is like, to me, my bed is a sacred, safe, cozy, delicious space to go to at night. But there was a period of time where maybe there was like a couple nights in a row where I would go lay down and I would start to have an existential crisis about death, right? So then that would cause a lot of anxiety and like fear. And then, I get back to this place of like, aligning myself and not being fearful of death necessarily, but when I would go to bed, it would just trigger those feelings. I trained myself to start worrying the second I laid down. And even though I didn't necessarily believe that, I was just like, I trained myself to feel that way. So one, you do have to navigate that within, but also like cleansing, I think the bed could have been a great way to help with that. Like whether you are smoke cleansing it, maybe getting new sheets, like freshening up the space to just help maybe interrupt those thought patterns a little bit and bring fresh energy to this space. And I also think when this could be helpful is, maybe you're going through a breakup or something and there was someone else that used to be in that room with you. Freshening up that space or getting a new bed could be really important. Or if you went through something, and I think of maybe people who are going through something and they like cry themselves to sleep or something, like going through something really horrible. So like then your bed just becomes somewhere you don't want to be. And so I think if you're in a situation where a certain area of your house like triggers negative energy or triggers certain like habitual thoughts or something, to cleanse those spaces and freshen them up and just to kind of help you move on from that.
Absolutely. So I think this is a good time to let you all know that we are having a special guest on the podcast next episode. Her name is Olga Nyman, and she refers to herself as a spatial alchemist. I am so excited to have her. I can't wait for you guys to hear that interview. I can't wait to conduct it. But that said, I will rearrange my house anytime that I feel like I need an energetic shift. And especially, if I have, gone through something or I'm having icky feelings, even feelings of stuckness, I will rearrange the room or even the entire house. And if I rearrange the entire house, I will then tell myself I'm in a new dimension and everything is all good here now. Like I'm only attracting good things, wealth, abundance, love, prosperity, all of the good things in this dimension.
Mm-hmm. And as we know, we'll discuss with her, either decorating or painting your home in a way that calls in what you're trying to align to. Like it is a way that you can manifest and or align with the energy that you're seeking.
Yeah.
Just so magical and cool.
Yes. I'm so excited for it. But also, because we're talking about living energetically, if you're thinking about like the items in your house, even if it's like clothing, literally anything, ask yourself how it makes you feel. Because if you look at something and you're like, I don't really love it, like I'm not gonna wear it anymore, then thank it and get rid of it.
Maybe
because
I'll use it someday.
Yeah. If you're not excited in love with it and you can't like move it around to make it so, it's time to go.
Yes. I feel like so many people hold on to things from a scarce energy, like maybe I'll need it someday, or it's like half broken and they're just like won't get rid of it. It's like, it's broken.
Yeah.
It's no longer serving you. Like, you are worthy of having an item that is not broken and serves its full purpose. Like, it's like, you don't have to hold on to things so tightly. In fact, like, none of this really matters. Like, yes, you can use your home and items as a tool to help you call in what you're looking for, but to be honest, none of this matters anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what truly matters is your energy. And you know, what's going to carry on from this life is your energy, your soul. Like, that is the only thing you get to hold on to. Or
Yes.
you know, it's none of this really matters. So it's not that serious. Like, if you don't like it, even if it's functional and you don't like it or whatever, like, you don't need to hold on to it so tightly. Like,
Yes.
it's the same thing of, you're probably doing that with certain emotions too. If you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that with physical things, there's probably things within that you are grasping on that you aren't letting go, that is no longer serving you.
Yes, always, because your external is always a reflection of your internal. And I will say, like, I'm guilty of it too. Do you know one thing that I recognize that I collect in abundance that is wild? Pictures. There are so many pictures on my damn iPhone, and I do go through and delete like thousands at a time because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I don't need all of these. Like, some of them, yes, I think that I'll appreciate that I have them. Like, you know, when my son's older, even now I look back and I'm like, he was so cute and little, you know. But like, you don't need to keep everything, because what are you gonna do with it? Like, I caught myself the other day, like, I'll buy his school pictures every year, and now they're doing them twice a year, and I'm like, what am I doing with these?
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually need this many pictures. Like, I have lots of pictures of him, trust me. I don't need them, you know? Also, like, you know, like she said, nothing matters except for how you feel. But whoever needs to hear this, buy yourself new pajamas. I caught myself a few years back looking at my pajamas and thinking, like, I've had these since high school. Like, ew, like, I don't need to hold on to these. Like, buy new pajamas. Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people do that with bras too.
yeah.
Buy yourself a nice new bra. You deserve it. Like,
Yes.
it's okay.
Yeah. Yes.
One that fits nice. Like,
yes.
it's okay.
You know, and I think that all of that comes from a lack mindset. But ironically, when you are giving to yourself, the universe will see that and give to you as well. So, like, anytime that I've ever wanted something that I'm like, that's expensive, but like, I really want it, either the money will show up beforehand, or I'll purchase it and the money will show up afterwards. But like, the money always comes, and how much money you have is a direct reflection of how you feel.
Right. And
it really is.
If there's a situation like you're not buying yourself new pajamas, like, I feel like there's a sense of like unworthiness or undeservingness, like, underneath that. Like,
Yep.
that's like, you wear your pajamas every night. Like,
Yep.
you deserve nice pajamas that are cotton and make you feel good and you don't sweat in them or whatever. Like,
Yes, you deserve nice things. I've also noticed, and I mean, I go back and forth on these thoughts, but I find that a lot of people who have like a ton of wealth don't hold on to much. They're more minimalist than anything. They don't have a ton of crap and clutter, you know, old dirty shoes and broken things. They don't have any of that in their house because there's no fear around the lack.
yeah, exactly.
So they can easily let go of stuff and just buy new. And I really believe that when you're letting go of all this old stuff that's no longer serving you, whether it's emotional or physical, that you're now making space for the new to come in. And even if you think about it, like, if you want to sell some old stuff, sell a bunch of old stuff, and then you can buy one really nice new thing, you know, and then it'll help declutter everything internally and externally.
Right. And it's not even just about like consumption. It's not like go buy all new stuff and this and that, whatever. But it's just like being more mindful of what you do have and like, is it serving you? Does it make you feel good? Or when you look at your like broken lamp, do you like kind of hate it? Like, get rid of it, get it out of your house, get rid of that energy. Just being mindful of that and mindful of your surroundings. And when you see something that brings you joy, you can then replace it. You don't have to immediately go buy a new random lamp that also doesn't really make you feel anything. You can wait for the lamp to come to you that like makes you feel good, that feels right in your space, that makes it feel like it comes together. Like, it's just
Yes.
mindfulness.
Yeah, it really is. All right. On that note, shall we pull a card?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Ooh, okay. So we have not pulled from this deck in a while. This will be exciting. So we always like to leave you guys with a message. If this is your first episode, we pull from a variety of tarot decks and oracle cards, and we just like to provide this as a message from the universe and for an opportunity for you to kind of think a little bit more about, or just be a little more introspective. So ooh. Oh, okay. So Grail Hollow, and there's ferns, a beautiful waterfall, and rocks, and there's like this beautiful like cauldron slash giant chalice type situation with gold. It's so beautiful.
The Grail Hollow appears over a mountain stream. The Grail is prefigured in many Proto-Celtic stories of cauldrons and enchanted vessels. It gives fulfillment, fertility, and joy. It represents fertility, abundance, beauty, joy, pregnancy, nurture, healing, gladness, compassion, and universal love. Reversed, it represents blockage, unrequited love, a lack of generosity. Question: where is your love committed? To me, I feel like this can really be related to what we've been talking about. And where is your heart focused? Like, what are you committed to manifesting? What are you committed to thinking about and feeling? Because that's going to create either fertility and abundance or blockage and, unreturned love or lack, based on what you think, what you're feeling. That's going to attract that same energy into your reality.
Mm-hmm. And even when you just, say those words, it makes me like take a deep breath and go, like,
Yeah.
it feels so good just to hear abundance and healing and fertility. It's like, oh yeah. Like,
it really does. Isn't that funny? I always think that when I'm reading a tarot reading, when it's someone like it's a card like this, I'm like, oh yes, like I'm so happy to be attracting this. And I 100%, I'm like so grateful to attract that message even, because then I'm like, oh yes, it's already mine.
Yes.
So good.
And if you take a moment to like think about these concepts, like if you are feeling heavy, start thinking about abundance and what that feels like and what that might look like. Start thinking about healing. Like these are all very high vibe things. Like, and when you start to think about them, like to me, it just immediately, I start feeling better. Like, I'm like, wow, so good. Just focus on these.
Also, I'll note the last word on the upright meaning is universal love. And there is a quantum physics theory. It is called, what is it called? Quantum entanglement. It's called quantum entanglement. It's not really just a theory because it is proven that we are all connected infinitely. And so every action that you take affects the world as a whole, and so do your thoughts. And it's been studied so deeply that your thoughts have actually been proven to affect other people's lives. Like, and it doesn't matter your proximity to them because we are literally all connected to all that is. And when you start to like really think about that and accept that as truth and embody that, it makes manifesting whatever you want so much more, I don't want to use the word realistic, but so much more accessible, so much more easy, attainable. Yeah, that's the word, attainable. And it's the truth. It's a scientific term. Like, I just think it's so cool to think about that. Like, you are connected to universal love. You are connected to all that is, and your thoughts are having a massive impact on that.
Yes, this is just such a lovely card to look at too. I also think of like cauldrons, like the womb. That's where we come from. That's how we come into this world. We come through the womb, and that's source to me, like that and that's like where we're all connected. And I just love that symbol, the cauldron and this card.
I was watching a YouTube video on that exact subject today on womb health, and the girl was talking about how she lets her womb like guide her, like she feels her intuition in her womb. And she talks about how like taking care of your womb health and your gut health and like cycle syncing and things like that can help you manifest wealth and love into your life. And I was like, yeah, girl, I love that. I get it. It's so true. It's so true, because it's the center of creation.
Right.
Even that chakra, even if you're a guy listening, like that same chakra is the chakra of creation.
And I think it's so important to be in touch with your womb and to do things that heal that space, because I think women, there's a lot of trauma and or that's a common place to like where we store a lot of negativity because of the things that a lot of women experience, because of like possibly things that are pregnancy related or feminine related, because that is also like a symbol of feminine energy. And so if you struggle in those areas, like connecting with your womb and healing that space can be so important.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love that.
Yeah, definitely. That. She did talk about as well, which I found interesting. So I am a mom, and I feel like that area for me, I hate to say it because I'm gonna change this thought process, but I hate that area because that's like where I hold on to and store unwanted weight. And she touched on that in the video, and she said that when you feel safe to be seen and when you are able to love and connect to that part of your body, that the weight will immediately shed itself. And I was like, oh,
I've heard that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a womb related episode. Would be really cool.
That would be great. All right, let us know what you guys think. Thank you so much for being here and helping us raise the frequency.
We'll see you next time with our very first ever special guest, and we'll see you there.
Love you.
Don't miss